Hello, welcome to another episode of Xah Talk Show. Today is 2021, July 6th. So we are going to do Emacs Lisp coding for maybe 30 minutes. And if we have time, I'm going to answer your questions. So post your comments and questions in the comment box, in the chat box, okay? So I'm going to just do quickly. We talked about this command, Xah reformat lines, and you are, by the way, you are looking at my kinesis keyboard. Okay, just search for it, Xah kinesis advantage. You'll see my reviews and video reviews, and ultimate hacking keyboard, and also these fantastic mouse. Okay, so I'm gonna start coding Emacs Lisp. We talked about in last video too about Xah reformat lines. Okay, so let's go to talk show. I'm just going to code. Okay, so code and show in browser. This is today's talk show page. Xah reformat lines. We're gonna modify it. Open a new window. Too big. Okay, open a new window. We're gonna modify this. Let's go to the source code. Okay, source code. We're gonna modify this command, and so Emacs Lisp coding. So describe key. That's a key. Go to the source code. Here is a source code, and split the buffer. Go here and search for format. Okay, so we make a backup here. We copy it and put this in this file, okay, and we're gonna work on here. Okay, so we're gonna work on this file, this code. Let's see. So what is it I'm going to modify? Okay, so let's see. Modify the command. So if cursor is the beginning of if cursor is on the left parenthesis or bracket, just do bracket text. Okay. So for example, I'm gonna watch my video 2 days ago. I discussed why do we need this command and why the Emacs version, the field paragraph doesn't work well. So you can also go to this URL. I have full detail on the source code and also the reason why this command exists, as opposed to when the Emacs built-in field region and the related command problems. Okay, so that's the reason why this we have this command. But okay, hold on a second. Let me paste the link here. But what is it I want to modify? Yeah. So for example, let me show you. So let me show you what this command does. Okay, I press a key, so it basically make everything into one line. Okay, undo. So you can see. So let's copy that new buffer, paste it here. So you see. Let's go to Xah Emacs Lisp mod. Okay, I press a key anywhere, it becomes one single line. I press it again, it becomes 70 characters per line. Show ruler. So something like that. Toggle. Okay. So if you have a Lisp code like that, actually this Lisp code will run. This is the significance of the syntax in programming languages. That is the white space. Okay. Should I continue about coding this, or should I digress about the white space issue? Okay, let me quickly show you the white space issue in programming languages, because it's a very interesting topic. So you just go to XahTV website and turn on JavaScript. In modern society, we need JavaScript, so the corporations can snoop on you, and it's required. Otherwise, the website doesn't work. No JavaScript, no candy. So you go to xahli.info and you go to syntax soup. All you wanted to know about computer language syntactical issues, and somewhere here there's a issue discussion about white space. So here is the article. So let's open it. So the article is about what does it mean when a programming language claims white space is insignificant. Now there is a lot of misunderstanding about this issue, because most hacker types, those C or C++, They think they know, but they don't know. So what does it mean actually? What does it actually mean when white space is insignificant? Okay, so anyway, so my point here is that in the Lisp syntax, except a few exceptions, okay, in Mathematica it works well. But anyway, in Lisp, the white space is basically insignificant except comment, okay? This is a Lisp comment, okay? This is a comment in Lisp, okay? So two exceptions. White space is not significant in Lisp except the comment syntax, such as this one, because it relies on the end, it relies on the line, the end of line, so that's a problem. And except the comment, yeah, basically that's, yes, mostly basically that's it, okay? So in general, the Lisp language syntax is fantastic because you can just compact it. This will work. In fact, sometimes I prefer this, but anyway, the long story, okay? This is actually unreadable, but it can be readable if Lisp adopt certain syntactic issues I explained in detail, that is about Mathematica. Meta expression, okay? Watch my video about a month or 2 months ago on Mathematica syntax versus Wolfram language syntax versus Lisp syntax. This syntax about the syntactical equivalence, okay? Anyway, so that's a meta syntax. Anyway, so white space. So when a programming language where the white space is actually truly insignificant, first of all, you have to define what does it mean. So you read this article, I'll give you detail. What exactly does white space mean, and what does it mean exactly when you say white space is insignificant? In general, white space is basically tab space and all that, okay? Depending on the language, different languages define them differently. So in some languages, such as JavaScript, so let's look at JavaScript white space, blah, blah, blah. This is not my website. I want to go to XahTV website. Shit. Okay, so just type my name is, so you get so there it is, white space characters. So for example, in JavaScript, they consider several Unicode also as a white space. So this matters because if you have a command that trim string, remove the white space at the beginning or end of the character of a string, this matters, which character is actually removed. So in Perl, in different languages, they have different ideas of what constitute a white space. So first of all, you define what set of characters is a white space. Then you define what does it mean when white space is insignificant. For example, if you add a white space to a programming language, does it change the meaning of the language? In general, it doesn't in Lisp, okay? Except, like I mentioned before, except when in comment, for example. So for example, this code still run, but if I add a comment and I remove the white space, it fucked it up, okay? So this, in general, this is, you want a programming language syntax to be white space insignificant in a specific meaning, okay? So what does it mean? For example, can you add or remove a white space? Or can you add or remove a sequence of white space? So basically, one of the good definition of white space insignificance in my context is that, first of all, you define a set of characters that's white space, okay? Then you define white space is insignificant to mean that whenever you have one or more white spaces, or in other words, a sequence of white spaces, then it does not matter what sequence it is, okay? But however, you can never remove a white space sequence. For example, okay? For example, okay, let me show you, okay? Between the P1 and P2, there's a white space sequence, okay? whitespace sequence. Now I can add a whitespace. A line return is a whitespace. So does it change the meaning? Oh, no, it doesn't. Well, actually, I didn't add a white space because I'm just because again we have a sequence of white space and we just add a white space. Still, it's one sequence of white space. So we did not add or remove a white space sequence. But on the other hand, if we do actually remove a white space sequence like that, then the semantics of the code changes. So it basically fucked up the code. So that's what I mean. So depending on the language, what does it mean? White space is insignificant or significant, and in particular, we can define a meaning of white space to mean insignificance, to mean that doesn't matter what kind of white space sequence, they are all interchangeable. So if you define that, then it satisfies this good property I want, okay, which is then for example, let's remove the comment, which means then this code, or anyways, or this way, all works the same. And so then. Okay, so that's one thing. Then there's another question. Then you might want to ask, why does anyone want to do this? Why do you need to do it? You need to do it. There are quite a lot of reasons, okay? Not quite a lot of reasons. Well, one of the reasons is, so what is good about this, one long line? When do you want it? Why is it good? Why do you want a language to have this property where the white space sequence can be interchangeable? Well, the reason is that, by the way, also except string, okay, that is in general, because that's another interesting topic about computer language syntax. That is whether you should have a syntax that allows literal things, which in general screw up your language, such as a string. Because inside a string, then you can have, for example, we have a string, right? Then inside the string, you can have your entire language in the string, more or less, when you escape the quotes. But anyway, that's another topic. That's a complex topic about language design, whether you allow the string syntax. And if you do not allow the string syntax, what possibly can you do if you want a literal kind of a string? So that is in another article here, design a string syntax, okay, here. So let's open that. So we talked about this. Then we have this article, Computer Language Design String Syntax. So this is venturing into the exploration of the question about, different string syntax. And that's another very interesting topic, because then you have here doc, you have different type of quotes. For example, Python uses 3 quotes to let you have kind of literal string. Then there's a question of whether you have interpolation. That's what Perl calls it, interpolation, or meaning, or in other languages, whether variables or expressions can be evaluated inside the string. So that's what this article is about. Okay, I mean more than that. There's many interesting things about string syntax in computer language design. For example, when you have regular expression, you are familiar with toothpick syndrome, especially bad in Emacs Lisp and in Lisp in general. Lisp, essentially all Lisp languages have this severe toothpick syndrome when they have regular expression because Lisp got a problem. Okay, so many interesting aspects about the string syntax design in programming languages. But however, most languages, anyway, so then, the escape is a big issue, Then, for example, in HTML, you have entities, which becomes very complex. Because when you have entities or escape code, such as \, then you have the problem of determining whether a given piece of string is it already encoded or is it not encoded. Because when, for example, you want to decode some string, but you cannot tell whether it's already encoded or it's in the state of already being encoded or it's decoded. So you have the double, triple or quadruple backslash problem. You cannot tell basically. So, if you code bash, for example, if you code Emacs, you need to call a bash, a shell command. You need to pass to shell. Usually you'll run into this problem, file path or URL path, or on Windows, then they use /. It becomes more complex. For example, a practical example, if you want to use a regular expression to search your Python code, to search for a particular regular expression in your Python code. So you want to use a regular expression to search a regular expression in your Python source code. Essentially you cannot do it in any language because the backslash, the escape, the so-called escape or entities or they become impossible to decrypt, to decode. Okay, so that's many interesting issues about whitespace syntax design in programming languages. I mean, about the string syntax. Then of course you have okay, so one of the solution is to do not allow a string syntax embedded in a programming language, at all. So, I explore some of those questions. That's this article. Okay, so whitespace is one thing. Significance of whitespace and string syntax is another very interesting thing, and they are related because when you have a string, then obviously you can have white spaces in a string, right? But then there's a question, let me put it this way. Once you have a string, like a double quote string, then it fucks up the white space insignificance, because obviously in a string, you cannot just arbitrarily replace any white space by another white space. That's an issue. And by the way, all this talk, the best language that has this white space insignificance is Wolfram language. Okay, I showed that many times in my video, so watch that. So anyway, so this is a digression about white space. Let's go to Xah talk show. So today's talk show. So we meant to code Emacs Lisp, but we digressed. Okay, digression. Okay, JavaScript whitespace characters. Okay, wait. So we talked about computer language syntax design, and what does whitespace insignificance mean? Okay, so those are the things we talked about as a log. Okay, now I guess I already talked random for 20 minutes. Hey, code bamboo. So let's now go start to code. Okay, let's start to code this. I guess let's see. Okay, so 8 people watching. Okay, say hi and questions. Okay, so okay, we already started to talk about syntax related issues. And now let's go to eShell. So where is it? Oh, here. Okay, so let's, I guess we start to code. Okay, should I, let me think about it. Okay, we're gonna code this. So the first thing I want to change is that, let's go to talk show. The first thing I want to change is that, so there are 2 things, okay? There are 2 things I want to change. Okay. So basically, I want to do this one first. Okay. So show in browser, magnify. So if cursor is on a parenthesis, on left parenthesis or bracket, then just like this. Okay, so for example, if I call the command, it becomes like that. Doesn't work in Emacs because of the comment, okay, because this part. So, or if in a string, same thing, similar happens. Okay, so anyway, so what I want is sometimes I want to, for example, this line, okay, I want to make it one line. So if I just call the command, it doesn't, it does the whole thing. I need to select it, then do it. Okay, so now this is fantastic. Okay, let me explain why this is fun. We forgot to explain why do you want this feature. Why do you want when people, normal average industrial coders, those C, C++, even Haskell people or Lisp people, they don't know. They are brainless. So I mean, the question is when do you want, for example, when do you want a code like that? There are some advantages. Okay, there are great advantages to have code like in sync where the white space significance is not significant. By the way, you'll hear this in Java, in Perl, in many languages except Python. Okay, you'll hear this in C, C++, Java, or JavaScript, or Lisp. Sometimes they will say in their introduction to the language, they'll say, "Oh, our language is white space insignificant." They don't know what they're talking about because they haven't, they are not. You cannot do what I'm doing here in those languages. Yeah, almost all of them. First of all, if they have this line-based comment, you cannot do that. Okay. So anyway, back to the question. So why do you want source code looks like that? There are quite a few advantages. Most industrial programmers, they have no idea. They haven't thought of. They never seen. I can show you. Mathematica is the best example, okay, but I'm not prepared to do Mathematica. I can show you some articles, but let's forget about that. So anyway, let me just explain, okay, so so when you have this white space insignificance as I defined, then you can, okay, here's a gist. You can essentially have a automated way of code formatting to any style you like. For example, to this style or to this style, or for example, some people prefer, code formatting is a big talk. Every it's a bike shade. What color should how should your car be? It's one of those things. Every programmer has the idiotic opinion. Okay, let me get to the gist of things. So formatting. Okay, so one of the great property about white space insignificance, as I defined in my article, is that as I explained before, is that when you actually have a well-defined white space insignificance in your language, that means your language can have automated formatting. Okay, for example, this line. Okay, I press a button. I cannot do it now because I cannot do this in Emacs because in general Emacs has this comment. It's not white space insignificant. But in Wolfram language, for example, I can press a button and it becomes like that. Okay, and I can adjust in my editor whatever preferences I want, any format. So when you have this automated formatting, that eliminates the entire babbling about code formatting style guide. Like every language online, you'll see that on Ruby Ruby, JavaScript, Python, not Python. Okay, Python is white space significant by design. Okay, so Python does not is not relevant here. Anyway, I'm saying that code formatting even in Python, they will, you'll see an article or frequently asked questions. For example, Google JavaScript style guide. Let's say JavaScript style guide. Let's not type Google. Google has one. Okay, so Google has one. Then the stupid idiotic W3 schools. Then you have you have Vue.js style guide, then you have Airbnb style guide, you have quite redux style guide. Those are big popular ones. Then you have the JavaScript standard. There's one, the millennial generation idiots. Here, JavaScript standard style. Go fuck yourself. You call yourself a standard. This fuckhead, this young guy. Okay, I know who. I mean, I kind of. I don't know the guy, but I know who. I looked into. So style guide. If you are a programmer, there's a huge amount of style guide and arguments in just about every language. That's a waste of time. What you should really have is automated style. Automation, okay. And today, after 30 years, you gradually start to have that. For example, Golang, okay, Golang. Okay, so let me show you so here's my Golang code. For example, you begin to have these. For example, okay, so for example, Golang. Okay, we are not going to. I don't think we are going to end up doing Emacs list coding because I started to talk about this. It's gonna be. I don't have time now. So for example, Golang, okay, I can make this into one line, okay. Now, but there's Golang actually support automated. I mean, they do have a tool, Go format, that automatically reformat your code, entire source code, not just one line. That's what typically programmers do. Line by line. Oh, I want this. I want this space, 3 space. Oh, I prefer 5 space. I prefer 5 space plus a tab. Idiocy. Especially the Emacs Vim people, they drivel about this all the time. What you should have automated. You just write whatever you want. Then when I'm ready, Go format. Okay, so I have a nice system set up. You see this key, delete C, delete C is the Go format, and delete key is right here. Okay, so on my Kinesis keyboard, right on the thumb. So watch this. Okay, delete C, it will reformat the entire line. Okay, so it fucked up here. It didn't work there because, like I said, the problem is Golang is not a whitespace insignificant language. It's not 100%. That's why I talked about why you need to define it. You need to have it well defined, like defined by a mathematically or by a algorithm. But anyway, let me demonstrate the Go format. Okay, so for example, let's say I have that. Okay, so now I press delete C. You see, it reformat for me. Let's say I have that. Okay. Let's not that. Okay, delete C. You see, you can, and in fact, I can. If I do add a semicolon, now you probably don't know Golang. I mean, you may know, but I take some time to explain about the role of semicolon in Golang. For example, I added some semicolon here and here. Then I compact the line. You cannot do. You have to skip the comment because comment is the problem. Comment is always a problem. So anyway, I made some lines into one single line. Now let me try the Go format again. Okay, do it. Okay, so found return. So actually I need, where do I need, okay, so I need to add more, I believe here. Let's just do this, okay. What? Expected that found return. What? Oh, okay, so, okay, Go format. Okay, that works. Okay, you see. Let's do this again. Let me explain. Okay, so you see, I have a code like that, and there is a semicolon here. That's required. Well, actually, not. Depends. That's a problem. It becomes complex because Golang is not a whitespace insignificant whitespace sequence. It's not a whitespace insignificant programming language. Although if you ask Golang, ask yourself, ask most programmers, they will say, "Oh, Golang is actually whitespace insignificant." You idiot ass. Okay, whitespace is significant in Golang. However, they have complexities to try to remedy the problem so that for example, the semicolon is not required most of the time. When you have a new line, then it's not required. It's complex, okay? So let me show you, okay? So for example, this line. So let's remove that, okay? So this line, no semicolon, okay? Let's make a backup, okay? No semicolon, right? Now, okay, remove that one, right? This is valid code, no semicolon, okay? Now, but I make it into one line, and now I try to run go format. Go format says hiccup, it choked. It says expected semicolon but found return. It choked, okay? But now, if I add a semicolon here and here and here, okay? Now I make it one single line. You can still see the semicolon. You see, you can still see the semicolon. Now I make it one single line. But now I do go format. Do it. It worked. You see, it worked. And it also removed the semicolon. You see. So what I'm saying. So back to my previous, what I was saying is that beginning about like 5-10 years ago, the industrial programmers begin to understand the power of automated formatting tool. So Golang, you have Go format, okay, fantastic. In JavaScript, you also have Deno.js, okay, you also have that, okay. You starting with Golang. Golang is the first one, Go format, the first one to have that. Eliminate the idiotic talk about formatting style guide. They are fucking ass. Most programmers, they diddle with each and every line, and in Emacs you have complexities. Like normally when you press return, it calls just insert a new line, but in some mods it will also insert then indent. Diddling on each line. These programmer idiots, the industrial programmer idiots. You want automated formatting, okay? So I was saying, beginning in the past 10 years, starting with Golang, we start to have that. And also you have JavaScript. I can demo, but it'll take some time. JavaScript, Deno.js, okay? One of my video, I talked about that. Deno.js, just search for it, okay? Deno.js, actually I can, Deno.js. Okay, it's just called Deno, okay? Yeah. I don't want completion, okay? So Deno, marketing talk, a secure runtime for JavaScript. Anyway, Deno is a great thing. I highly recommend Deno instead of the Node.js crap or the npm fuck. The npm leader is a fuckface. So Deno is by the Ryan something guy. That he's a great guy and very great programmer and a good person. Okay, Deno. This is his new project. Okay, Deno. And so Deno has automatic formatting. I can demonstrate, but okay, let me just do demonstrate since I'm talking about this. So let's go to some code. Okay, so I do have a code. Let's see. Unicode search. Okay, Unicode emoticons. Okay, so search for. Let's actually go to Unicode index, okay? So here is a page, let's say interactive dynamic Unicode search, okay? So I type water, I type try. So all this Unicode contains the word try, their names, okay? So interactive search. Let's try gram, okay? So how is that done? That's of course JavaScript. So search for JavaScript. There it is. So you can see here's my code, and it also supports here's the code. So let's go to JavaScript. So search, open it. So now we have a big JavaScript code. Okay, this is actually TypeScript, which is a superset of JavaScript. But let me try this. Okay, so I don't want to fuck up that code. So let's create a new page .ts. So here's a code. 33,000 lines. That's mostly because of the JavaScript, the Unicode data. That's 33,000 lines, okay? Anyway, what I'm trying to tell you is about, for example, here is a code, I make it into one line. Then I call the deno format. Okay, what's the command? Let's see. There it is. Okay, so delete C XAH TypeScript compile. Delete G XAH JavaScript format code. If you go to the source code, you will see that it is calling the demo format here. You see the it's calling the shell demo, part of the demo, come with demo. So let me demonstrate that. Okay, so I made it into one line. Then I'm going to call delete G. There it is. You see, it actually, so it reformat the entire source code. You see, let me undo. Okay, now watch the window. Let's undo. Okay, so undo. You see, so we actually need let's add a marker. Okay, so XXXX. So we know where we are. So not right now the code looks like that. Now pay attention. Let's say to this block. Okay, I'm gonna call deno, and we will actually reformat the entire thing. Okay, deno format. So watch it. Okay, do it. Wait, did it? Wait, undo. What? What? Let's make this. Let's try it again. Oh wait, what? Oh, I called compile instead. Okay, let's watch again. Okay, so watch these few lines. Okay, delete G reformat deno. There it is. Okay, now let's scroll up. Now remember our mark XX here. So you see, 1, 2, 3. So it looks different. Now let's narrow to region. Okay. What's the command to narrow to region? Let's try again. Okay, so watch this. Delete. Okay, let's narrow to region now. Okay, so we focus on this. So delete G, reformat the entire buffer so it looks like that. And also, okay, you expanded the region. Anyway, so I hope you see the change. You see, it reformatted the entire source code. 4,000, almost 30,000 lines. Although most of it in the beginning is just like that. So that, back to my point, I was saying beginning about 10 years ago, the industrial coders begin to have the concept, have to catch up, to realize the idea where automated formatting tool is great thing. Okay, before that, the C++ idiot, they don't understand. Like I argue with them, they don't understand it. They say, "Oh, you are a troll," So beginning with Golang, Go format, and even to this day, when you have, when you tell the coders, they say, "Oh, each line must be 80 characters. You are doing bad." The idiots. This is a harm. That's why I say this is a harm for Unix and C. C began this kind of tradition, 80, 70 characters per line. Okay, so beginning 10 years ago, the industrial coders begin to realize the importance, the advantage of the formatting tool. Now, however, back to my previous point is that this formatting tool is great, but however, it would be even better. It would be much more better, much more powerful if the programming language's syntax support it. That is, we go back to the significance of the whitespace significance. You need a well-defined meaning of whitespace significance. Okay, so that is why I'm saying that this is significant, and there's a lot of misunderstanding. Golang, for example, is not whitespace insignificant. So even though it has the great powerful Go format tool, okay, so even it has a Go format tool, it's great, but it doesn't work all the time because because then you have the complexities of the comma, the semicolon, okay? Okay, so, and again, let me repeat. So for Lisp, it's good most of the time, except the comment. If we can just eliminate, so instead of the comment syntax, what should it be? It should be like that, okay? Let me show you, okay? It should be like this, okay? Something like this. For example, comment, okay? This should be the Lisp comment syntax, but today's Lispers, they don't, since 1990s, they don't understand this idea. You tell them, they say you are a troll. They're fucking idiots. And they say, even to this day, people will, for example, you look at this one, okay? So people say, this, Xah, you are a troll, you are fucking an idiot. You should not have these lines like that. You should not show other people. Don't read Xah's tutorial because he is not following convention, blah, 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 because they are idiots. When they see this, they say, these people, they say, you should be this way. This is the, convention. Idiots. And this touch on another point, that is a semantic unit. So all this problem came from Unix and C, okay? So why you want a single line? Because code, we are looking at the source code. Source code should be organized according to semantic units, okay? Not syntactical unit. The fucking, these industrial programming idiots, okay? So this is not a semantic unit, okay? This is more of a semantic unit, okay? And similar for other construct. But in general, this because of the nested parenthesis syntax, in general, it's one, it's the syntax in general, in Lisp syntax in general corresponds to semantic units. That is, you can tell by syntax alone the semantic unit of the program. You see what I'm talking about? Lisp can do that, but this property is not true for C-based syntax. For example, in Go, no. Sometimes it's line. For example, this one line is kind of a semantic unit, but not really. In Lisp, basically every parenthesis is one semantic unit. But it's very problematic for C-based syntax, Golang or JavaScript. Okay, so I rambled for a full hour about the meaning, about the syntax design in programming languages and semantic unit. Okay, so we got several comments, and I'm not going to code Lisp now because I already talked for 50 minutes, 40 minutes, something like that, about the issues, the syntax issues. Why am I so passionate or fervent about this topic? Because these syntactical issues of programming languages, you could say, is my lifelong study. About 20 years. And it's one of the most thing I study. Anyway, so that's about that. So let me read the comment, and maybe that's it for today. Okay, so we So let's see. So, hello, bot. Today's live stream is impromptu. I just decided, 10 minutes in advance because I thought nobody's gonna watch. But I have tons of things I need to code, so I thought, why don't I code and, just do a live stream. So I was planning to, nobody's here. I'm pretty sure, two person. I'm just gonna, do my own coding, to modify this code. And decided to do a live stream impromptu, but then I started to explain why do I need this command. Then one thing leads to another, explaining the whole thing about the significance of whitespace. What does it mean, and also the the string syntax. One thing leads to another. String syntax in programming languages, and different languages, their meaning of whitespace characters, and the giant rant. Okay, so that's it for today. Okay, so I'm not going to code this anymore now, I guess. I mean, not in this live stream. So what else? So I have finally decided to buy Advantage 2 keyboard. Fantastic, okay? So if you like my stuff, again, sponsor me, right? Sponsor me. PayPal me. PayPal, oh yeah, there's a convenient link. Patreon, Amazon gift card. Fantastic. It's from you guys, Amazon gift card. Thank you guys that I recently bought $100 of this mouse and this pen. So yeah, so thank you guys for that. Sponsor me and buy keyboard for my website, the Kinesis. This thing, fantastic. Okay, let's see what so something I've been working on a lot in the past a month or two on Emacs, on my Emac website, XahTV. I worked a lot on them 1 month or two in the past a month or two. A lot of stuff. So for you Emacs fans, and and I worked a ton on in the past week or two, several weeks on the keyboards. Lots of interesting things. For example, this is from a video game, a Russian keyboard. This keyboard actually simulates, it's a game called Breath Edge, a survival game in space, in outer space. So this is like a keyboard used in space shuttles, things like that, space station in outer space. Then, there's something similar. For example, let me show you. So so there are several fictional keyboards. For example, here's one in anime, but I'm not sure. This might actually be a real keyboard. I don't know for sure, but because from a friend who told me the City Hunter anime, they usually have very realistic tanks and airplanes, helicopters. So this might actually be a real keyboard. So these are then there is the keyboard from the Alien. So the movie Alien, 1979, classic. And of course, this is the most popular Ghost in the Shell. By the way, this is a new anime, Ghost in the Shell. There's an old version like 20 years ago, similar, but they redid it. And here is some pretty pictures about Ghost in the Shell. So that's about it for today. By the way, I haven't watched this one. I hear that it's not so good. Ghost in the Shell. There it is, Japanese. Naked girls, of course. We love it. So Ghost in the Shell, Japanese. And by the way, they have a sex scene of Ghost in the Shell from 1990s, but it's censored in the American version. So anyway, so Ghost, speaking of Ghost in the Shell, there is something interesting in Ghost in the Shell. There is this robotic AI bot, kind of a comical character. So here's a Japanese do-it-yourself Helix keyboard. Ghost in the Shell is from Japan, of course. Then in Ghost in the Shell, there's this bot, AI bot. So it's called Takikoma. Okay, you can go to Wikipedia. So they have an article on that. So, but So I was wondering, what kind of bot is this? Looking at that, it looks like silly. It looks like a toilet. So it turns out it's kind of a, comical character in a Ghost in the Shell animation. But anyway, so there's this model you can buy. Japanese are crazy about it. So let's see what else common. Hi everyone. Hi art mob. Style must go SVG XML to CSS, I guess. Style must be SVG XML to CSS. What do you mean? So Mario says Rust have a really nice automating formatting tool, FMT. Okay, yeah. So yeah, like I said, beginning in 10 years ago, the industry programmers begin to have that. But I need to show you Mathematica, okay? So actually, Wolfram language, you'll be like, what a magnitude beyond, like 10 years ago, the industrial programmers, the C, C++, or JavaScript, they begin to understand, they begin to have that. But Wolfram language, okay, Wolfram language, they have that like starting in 1997. And it's not just, automatic formatting of the source code by changing the, the new line space. It's not just that. It does that as you type, just like a buffer. As you, let me type something long, okay? As you type something long and once upon, let's copy that, okay? Copy that. So time, you can see, what I'm trying to get it is that you can see that it is automatic. You see, there's an automatic wrap. That happens in word processors since 1990, 1990, okay? You want that automated, automatic. But the stupid, the C programmers, the hacker types, they say, oh, you cannot do that. You need to, the fucking, then you have the code formatting style guide, fucking idiots, fuckheads. Damage, this is damage directly inherited from Unix and C, okay, for 20 years now. So we begin to fix that, with a new generation of coders, Golang, Deno, and Rust, and I hear from, the C, that compiler, what's the name, the popular compiler, they start to have that. Only in the past 5 or 10 years ago. Okay, you have to wait for the previous generation to die. That's how things change, because habit is the most, habit is the bane of progress, habit. Okay, so code formatting, okay, so yeah, you begin to have that in lots of programming languages. What's the difference between Dactyl and Morphorum, okay? Well, Dactyl and Morphorum, they are different keyboards, okay? What's the difference between Dactyl and Morphorum? Okay, let me show you, okay? Okay, I gotta go, so let me explain that, then I'll be done. So Dactyl and Manuform, they are two different designs by two different people, okay? So you have Dactyl, which is kind of copying the kinesis, okay? Kinesis is the granddaddy. Kinesis began in okay, let me show you some history. Kinesis began in 1990, I think. 1992 or something like that. Okay, Kinesis began in I might have some histories here on my page somewhere. I don't remember for sure, but it began I think it's 1991 or 1989 or something. Okay, and Kinesis is copied from maltron keyboard. This is the earliest. Okay, this is from what year? 1977. Okay, but I believe I've read someone says, anyway, I believe this is the first curved ergonomic, curved surface ergonomic keyboard, maltron keyboard. Okay, on the web, on the hacker, one of the hacker keyboard site, what's the name? what's the name? Sometimes I forgot. Geek Hack, okay, Geek Hack website. I remember there's an article saying that IBM was actually the first one, but I don't think so because anyway, that's you can go look for the history. Okay, so maltron is the first. Okay, let's write down what we talked about. Okay, I gotta go. So so that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Donate. Okay, donate. Don't forget. That's why I exist. That's what I am doing. That's why I'm doing my stuff. Okay, that's my alarm. Turn it off. So maltron is first, then kinesis, then let me show you. Then so maltron 1977. Then kinesis around 1989, something like that. Then ergodox. Okay. Basically, these are the major lineage of the evolution of the. I mean, these are the major ones. So ergodox, 2000. What date? 2013. Yeah, 2013 began ergodox, which is a copy of kinesis, but flat. Okay, then the next, I guess, the major one is dactyl. 2016. You know, this guy is also a great guy. I actually met him face to face. He's also a Mathematica. He's a Wolfram language expert. Okay, he's actually an expert of Wolfram language. One of the great expert of Wolfram language. He happened to be. But he's, I should mention also, since since me being me, he's also very social justice kind of person. So political opinions, which is very different from me. So we have kind of frictions. Anyway, I met him. So he's a great guy. He designed, so he created dactyl. Okay, so he created dactyl. So let's turn on JavaScript. Wait, why is it not available? Okay, so you have to watch it on YouTube. So anyway, dactyl. Okay, so dactyl is 2016. Then someone has created a manu form. Okay, not dactyl manu form. Dactyl manu form is a dactyl and manu form a hybrid. Okay, but there's a manu form. I don't have it on my website, but we can just maybe we can find it. So manu form is not very popular. So right now, if you search it, all you see is dactyl manu form. But manu form is kind of a weird one created by someone. Just manu form, okay? So maybe this. No. Oh wait, are we? I don't think it's this one, okay? But what are they talking about? I think they are talking about something else. Manu form keyboard. Okay, let's just search for. Yeah, these days all you see is dactyl manu form. Okay, here manu form keyboard. Okay, now do they have a picture? They don't have these people, you always put a picture, these people, they idiots, these hacker types, what are you doing? You create a website talking about keyboard, no picture. What the fuck you doing? These nerds type, they don't know. You want it to be popular, put the picture, you need, it's necessary because you're talking about keyboard, Anyways, you can find. I'm pretty sure you can find a picture somewhere. Okay, so there's a manu form. You can find then someone combined the dactyl and manu form and created the dactyl manu form. So that's basically that's a story. Why did my browser keeps changing color? I have a big story to tell. Okay, because basically because Windows UI is so idiotic. Because there's no way. Because it's impossible to see which window is actually in front. So I have to, so I change color. So I just have different color for each different application. Because otherwise, because if this is also blue, sometimes it's hard to tell if this is one window or is it different app inside. Stupid Windows. That's what it is. The fucking Windows fuckheads, and they are talking about, they have pretty boys on stage telling you, oh, we designed the Metro, how great it is. The most idiotic fuck. However, Apple, you can general trust, when Apple doing some design things, although they are kind of very pretentious and elite, but however, Apple, they do actually know when they design, whatever interface, they do a good job. The Windows is just idiotic. Okay, so let's not talk about that too much. Okay, so just so anyway, so because so what I'm saying is that society, the world has 7 billion of people, and there are many different type of opinions. Typically, the white people, they avoid talking about it, so they keep things nice. They don't talk about porn, even though they probably watch it every day. They don't talk about it. They need nice, polite, talk only politely. Don't talk anything that's, they do that, but it's not good if you kind of keep doing that. Censorship, society gets worse and worse. But on the other hand, but what I'm saying is that there are different people, different opinions from different countries. So sometimes, for example, I was born in Taiwan, but I don't actually like the Taiwan politics. It becomes so bad. But that creates a friction, because I know for a fact that many people in Taiwan who would actually follow me and recommend me, but they have seen, sometimes, I have a bad mouth about Taiwan stuff a little bit. They see my political opinions, then they distance themselves from me. That's the issue. Same thing. This happens to you, every one of you, I'm pretty sure, even if you don't talk about politics. Sometimes it'll come out. So people begin to distance from each other because you believe in red, I believe in blue or something. That's no good. Okay, that's no good. So yeah, we do have differences, but usually you can try to talk it out. Instead of becoming separatist, becoming very like USA is today. Because of the Twitter scumbags, Twitter and Google, their boss, and Apple, the scumbags, they created the divide as a side effect because they want to make more money. So they created that situation. Okay, that's it. Bye, guys.